Superman and tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. I feel that air it out, air it out. I hate it, clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. Take off. I'm on a rocket, a space dog. Bought a new car from Elon, wanna race. I've been asking how long is it gonna take. I've been cracking the code, had to break it safe. I've been riding my wrongs, had to change my ways. I was stuck in one place, so I had to shake. They try holding me down, but I found my way. Riding rich and no bicycle, love me. Ride away, then my heart went all ice again. Find the balance, my patience been going thin. In the field every day till I reach the end. Popping up on your side like we out of bounds. Ain't no way that they think that it's stopping now. I've been waiting for my turn to come around. I've been waiting for my turn to come around. Air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out. I feel that air it out, air it out. I had to clear it out, clear it out. I feel like Superman and tear it down. Call as a quarterback and send him out.
What's up, football fans? What's going on? It's your boy Avery. Yeah, that's me. That is my name. And this is the Air It Out podcast brought to you by Inside the Hashes. I'm joined with some phenomenal analysts, some phenomenal football minds. And I'm truly appreciative to do this with you guys. So I want to just give a shout out to you guys and say what's up. And let you guys say what's up to the people. So I'm going to start with, well, he is the one, right? He is the one and only. So, Juan, what's up? Tell everybody what's up.
Exhausted. Another good day of work today. Just happy to be alive, but also happy to know that I'm going to be seeing the most legendary Latino guitar player of all time in a couple of weeks, man.
Nice.
We were talking about this earlier. You know, Santana coming to. No, it's not a Vikings jersey, Jerome. You'll see what it is shortly. You will see what it is shortly. But yeah, no, like we got Carlos Santana coming up to Wisconsin in a couple of weeks, so I'm really excited for that.
Carlos Santana. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Down. You know what I'm saying?
My EP at work got mad at me because I said the song Smooth was better than Black Magic Woman.
Listen, I'm not going to agree or disagree. I think they're both bops. Yeah, I think I might have to go Black Magic Woman though. I don't know. I'm gonna listen to him again and I'll come up with a verdict. You know. Okay, I was gonna get on you about having on a Ravens jersey, but respect, bro. Respect. No comment. No comment. I'm gonna just let it be what it is. Carlos Santana is in fact a legend, ladies and gentlemen. That is true. This is true. Living legend. Absolutely love it. Darren, Coach Braxton, what's up? Talk to the people.
I'm out here. Jerome's gonna be mad. I'm gonna be happy. It's gonna be a good show today, people. It's gonna be a great show today.
Okay, all right. Well, I think that speaks for itself there. Darius, back in the building 2 weeks in a row. Let's go. What's up?
Two game winning streak. I'm excited, man. Obviously, basketball season is over. Golden State 1-6, but we got the NBA draft. I know we're an NFL podcast, but we got some type of excitement. We got the NBA draft. We got baseball. But I'm just counting down the days, man. Training camp is around the corner, and that preseason is almost here, man. That preseason almost here. Football season, it is close. It is close to the regular season.
PJ Tucker, come back to Milwaukee, man. We dogs out here. We lit.
Nah, y'all couldn't even.
He got his ring.
Come to
the Nah. We good. He stays in Miami, baby. You know what I'm saying? Heat Nation. I remember asking some Latinos about Carlos Santana, and I left highly disappointed. They didn't know who he was. Oh my. Well, hey, listen. I mean,
people, my friend.
I understand it. I know some people who don't know who Drake is. So, I get it. It is.
They was lying to you.
How you not know who Drake is, though?
They was lying to Avery. That's all that was. They was lying.
They weren't lying. I'm just saying it's different. It's different circles. You know what I mean? Different strokes for different folks. Speaking of music, I know what I'm looking forward to. Omarion versus Mario tonight on Versus TV. That's right. You know what I'm saying? I'm checking that thing out. I don't care about what y'all talking about. I understand it's a sports podcast, but Omarion about to be up there doing the thing. What you talking about? She gonna be doing all the, I mean, it's supposed to be crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait for it. Okay, Jerome is essentially saying GA Latinos are not real Latinos. I'm just gonna let that be what it is. So, y'all take it up with him. Y'all take it up with the CEO, okay? You know what I'm saying? I didn't say it, he did. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, listen, it's the Aired Out Podcast. Let's get to some football talk. And unfortunately, we have to start the show off on a pretty somber note. The Ravens especially, and Coach, I'll give you the floor first in this regard. The Ravens lost two very dear members of their family. Thanks for we forgot that Jim verse. Oh yeah, I got you. But yeah, the Ravens unfortunately have lost two very, very dear members of their family. If anyone knows anything about the Ravens Nation, they are a very, very tight-knit group. I believe they're one of the teams where they have a philosophy, even if whether they say it or not, it's kind of like once a Raven, always a Raven, unless you go to like the Steelers or the Browns or the Bengals or something like that. But they absolutely rock with you for life, and they support you in ways that most fan bases don't really have that type of support system. And so I'm talking about none other than, well, number one, Jalen Ferguson, who passed away, who was drafted, I believe, in 2017 by the Ravens. A great edge rusher who actually set the FBS record for sacks in a career while he was in college. But even bigger name and probably even more impactful, not just player, but analyst in the sport in general, none other than Tony Siragusa, a.k.a. Goose. And so we want to just send a shout out to the families of both of those guys, and we kind of just want to talk around it. Our prayers and our thoughts are with your families, you and whoever else is involved and affected by it. But it's really tough. Yeah, Jalen was very young, so it's very, very sad. And so I want to talk to you guys. One, obviously Jalen had some really high ceiling potential, right? We talked offline about this. He started losing some weight this offseason and looked like he was probably going to have a pretty productive season this year coming up. And then obviously Tony Siragusa, aside from what he did on the field, like I said, as an analyst, just a phenomenal personality, somebody with a huge personality. You couldn't help but to like the guy. He was funny, he was charismatic, he was entertaining. And so the sports world is going to heavily miss him. But Coach, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the passing of these two guys? What legacy did Tony Siragusa leave in the NFL world?
So I don't want to really touch on this too long, just because it's more of a downer, and this is not something we want to have. But we do have to touch on it just because, well, you have to think Goose is one of the best all-time players for the Ravens, hands down. He was a key part in that 2000s championship run that we made and got with that great defense that we had. He was one of the mainstays there at defensive tackle, nose tackle. He stopped the run very well and did his job. So him being there, not only him playing with the Ravens, but him with the Colts for 12 years was an incredible achievement on its own, especially during the 90s when they really started to air it out more. You had the more rushing guys, and it was a great time to play football. And he definitely did well during that era. And then for him to transition from football to now sideline role for football, he did an amazing job at that as well. So I got to give him props where it's due. And I really want to say I'm sorry to the Siragusa family for what's going on, but you're in our prayers for sure, and he will definitely be missed. But for me, more so it's Ferguson, losing him now. He's 26 years old. He still had a full career ahead of him. He was going into like a contract year for himself and really had the opportunity to shine in this year. He was set up with all the injuries we're having still coming back. There's no McPhee. There's no Justin Houston right now. Ojabo is coming back off from injury. We have always coming back from shoulder surgery. Tyus Bowser is coming back from surgery. So he had an incredible role with us this upcoming season. And then, as Avery mentioned, he looked great this offseason in OTAs. He looked like he really was going to produce a lot and kind of lived up to that hype that we had for him. Even though he was a third round pick for us, we thought he was a second to a first round type guy. But it's unfortunate that we will never be able to have him really show his potential. I'm sorry, it's really upsetting for that one. That one hurt.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. I mean, you don't ever want to lose anyone. We know death is a part of the cycle of life, but it doesn't take the sting away when it happens ever. And so, like I said, prayers and thoughts go to their families. Darius, what are your thoughts on the passing of these two young men? Honestly, they were young men. Goose wasn't even 60. I think he was 55, maybe 54, 55. So again, relatively young, and obviously, Ferguson not even being able to hit 30. So what are your thoughts on their passing, and what do you think this means, in the sports world?
I think when athletes, regardless of their stature, right, when an athlete passes away, it's really just sad. And when anybody passes away, it's sad. But when it's an athlete, because they're a public figure, it's really sad, right? We go back to Dwayne Haskins, right? When he passed away, it kind of catches you off guard. Like, you're not really expecting that. You get the notification, the breaking news, this player reportedly dies at, age 26, and he's young, right? Like Darren was saying, he was young and he was going to have a bigger role. And I think that's what hurts more. As a fan, you're like, yo, this guy was going to have a breakout year. This is probably going to be his year because of the injuries, because he looked good. And I'm pretty sure mentally he had that focus. And, for his life to be taken away at such a young age is sad. And, all we can do is just pray for the families. Same with Tony, man. I mean, like Darren said, he was a very key part of that Ravens defense. He went on the sideline and did his thing. And for him to just, unexpectedly pass away, it's sad. And, it's just, it's not much you really can do, man. Especially when it's coming from your team. Like, it hurts more. But I think what you love about the sports world is, despite the rivalries, despite everything, like, every team comes together and just shows that love and shows that appreciation. And I think that's when you see it's bigger than football. It's a family. Like, yeah, we have our rivalries, but at the end of the day, we're a family. We care for each other, and we lost somebody that was part of our community. So I think it's dope when the NFL, shows that respect and love, especially coming from like the rivalry team like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. And even tougher, and I actually like this. I actually appreciate this. We don't know the causes of death. I honestly think it's a situation where they are hiding or not revealing the causes of death, which I think is a little bit better because it respects the privacy of the families a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, we don't need to know the details. We need to just pay our respects to two amazing players in the sports world will forever miss in that regard. Juan, what are your thoughts? I know you are one of the I guess one of the most qualified to speak in this area, just being in media in your profession as well. So I'm pretty sure you know and understood the value of what Goose brought to the table and different things like that. But also just being an analyst yourself, and the respect that you have for the sport, just knowing again, and just being a young man yourself, Jalen Ferguson just, passing away and again, just not too much context, which is okay, but death is just not easy. So what are your thoughts on what Tony did, what his legacy is? And then when it comes to Jalen, what is there any insight that you could potentially provide to who Jalen was, or his football acumen or prospect.
So with regards to Goose, one part of him I want to highlight is one that I don't think I've seen a lot of people touch on in other outlets, is that he was a big advocate for colon cancer awareness and for getting prostate exams done. He was always very. I was doing my research for the show today. I saw that he was a big advocate for men's health and for men to be open about struggles that they have with regards to their health, and for someone to come in a time of sports, in which case masculinity was kind of derived as being like toughing things out and not really telling anyone about it. For him to have taken that step a little bit later down the line, this was like in 2014, 2015 that he did these advertisements for it. Huge step in the right direction and really helped like break down a wall with regards to like being attentive of men's health and being open about your health issues. Not to mention, he was beloved around the league. I saw Jim Irsay on Twitter is throwing up nothing but praise for Goose, especially because Goose was a UDFA and he signed with the Colts when he started his career before he went to the Ravens for their championship run. And on the standing of Jalen Ferguson, it's a 26-year-old kid who is in his third season in the league. I'm 27. I'm older than this kid. I hate it. It just shocks me to see someone so young go out like that. And he's not even the youngest guy to go. We saw Dwayne Haskins go. He was 25. We saw Jeff Gladney also pass away, also in his early 20s. It's been a tough year for young players so far. And it's especially hard for the teammates of those young players. Again, going back to Twitter, Patrick Queen talking about how him and Ferguson were in a sauna together, and talking about how they were gonna elevate their game to the next level this year. And Patrick Queen being a first round pick and having so much respect and admiration for Ferguson, only being drafted a year before him, really stands out to what a character player is in a character driven organization. So those are my two thoughts on that. Rest in peace to both these larger than life personalities, both on and off the field, and all respect to their families who are in tremendous sadness right now.
Yeah, it's really tough to process all of these things, and it's a sad situation. It's a sad day for the sports world anytime these things happen. Ferguson, Gaskins, Glenn, even Coach Wong, and in the NBA at 25, seeing all these young men die at early age really breaks my heart. I couldn't agree more. And just a small correction, I did say that Jalen was drafted in 2017. He was actually drafted in 2019 by the Ravens. So, again, just our condolences, our prayers, our thoughts to the families and all who are affected by the unexpected and untimely passing of those two gentlemen, and all those who have passed even just recently. So much respect to them. And it's always hard to transition from topics like that. But again, we don't want to be too somber. And so we want to talk a little bit about, some people have equated death with retirement into the afterlife. Well, I want to switch gears and talk about how somebody has retired, and he is, again, probably universally, at this point, probably universally renowned as, if not the greatest, absolutely a top 3 tight end to ever play the game of football. His name is Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski, a.k.a. Gronk, has retired from the NFL. He has retired from the NFL. Again, I say he has retired from the NFL. Prayers to little TJ. Yes, absolutely. Now, this is not the first time Gronk has retired. For those of you who don't know, Gronk has retired previously as well, twice, and he'll be back in October. And we all are probably familiar of the story with Gronk actually getting ready to be traded by the Patriots and then telling them, hey, no, you can't trade me. I retired. And then bringing him back. So with that being said, I mean, there's questions that remain out there that, Tom gives him a call and says, hey Gronk, let's run this thing back one more time. There's a lot of speculation and people close to Gronk who believe that could not only be the case, but also very much swindle or sway him to, in fact, come back and play another season behind Tom Brady, who, again, if you don't know, he also retired this year and decided to come back. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Juan, I'll start with you. Is Gronk gone for good now? And if he is, where do you rank him amongst the upper echelon and the elites of tight ends in NFL history?
Is he gone for good? Is any player ever really gone for good when they retire? We thought Tom Brady was gone for good, and he came back freaking 40 days later. Freaking liar? No. Anyway, with regards to Gronk, I think he's done. The last couple of years, while he has been tremendously great the last couple of years, just last year in just 12 games, 800 yards, 6 touchdowns on 55 catches alone, speaks to his productivity and his ability to dominate on the field. The hits are weighing on him. For someone of a 6'7" frame, and everyone going for his legs, going for his back, and multiple people on him on multiple times, that weighs heavy on a guy. So I can understand him walking away for good. I even read this great piece from the NFL's Judy Bautista about how this retirement was actually better than Gronk's first retirement, because when Gronk tried retiring the first time, you could tell during that Super Bowl run that the Patriots went on, which was the last Super Bowl run Tom Brady did with the Patriots, that Gronk was just beat up, that he was just in pain, and he did not like the Patriots system anymore. He just couldn't take the wear and tear that it was bringing to him. And when Bill Belichick tried trading him to Detroit, he's like, no, I'm not going to where Patricia is. That's just worse, so much worse. So he said, I would rather retire than play for Matt Patricia, and he did. Then he became a CBD oil spokesperson, a wrestling personality. He did all this stuff, and as soon as Tom Brady goes down to Tampa, it's like, yeah, Tom, I'm on my way. And then he went down and played with Tom in a system and in a culture that put an emphasis on being yourself and being outspoken and just not having to, hide yourself and try to be stoic in the face of competition, which is similar to what the Bill Belichickian system is. Down in Tampa, much different. And on top of that, Gronk got to go out on his terms, no others, not Bill Belichick's, not Robert Kraft's, his terms. Not even, and I couldn't be happy for that. Plus, the guy literally made spiking a football a trademark of his own. Right? Spiking footballs has always existed. It just took Rob Gronkowski and his huge size and personality to make it into a branded move, the Gronk spike.
Absolutely. Very, very good points. But let me ask you again really quickly, just where do you rank him all time?
I'm sorry. I got so caught in the minutia. To me, Gronk is top 2. It goes Tony Gonzalez, then Gronk.
Solid. Not mad at it. All right, well, let's talk to Darius here. What are your thoughts? I mean, obviously, this guy was an absolute force for your Patriots, an absolute force. I mean, you got him in the prime of his career, and during his prime, he was absolutely unstoppable. He was unguardable. I mean, you could put anybody on him. They're going to have a long day dealing with Rob Gronkowski. I mean, it's one thing to have to deal with Tom Brady, and then another thing to have to deal with Edelman. But you mix that, and you're saying, well, we gotta guard this guy as well. Goodness gracious! Whoa. Chris, I'm gonna I'm gonna just say you're trolling at this point because ain't no way. I'm not mad at this take, Jerome. Not mad at that take. Not mad at that take at all. It's a solid take. Darius, what are your thoughts?
I think Gronk. I don't think Gronk is necessarily done, right? His agent even said that he may come back. I think it's just gonna take Tom Brady jump on the phone like, Gronk, come on, we got a chance. We have another chance, and he can go for Super Bowl ring number 5. But if this is the end of Gronkowski, right? Like if this is genuinely the end of Gronkowski, what a career he has, right? 4-time Super Bowl champion, probably one of the most clutchest tight ends. Whenever you needed a conversion from your tight end or from your go-to guy, Gronk was the guy. We saw it in the Super Bowl against the Rams when Brady completed that beautiful pass to set them up to score the only touchdown in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I had to say it. But no, I think Gronk's not necessarily done. He's going to probably venture out in other things and then realize he misses football possibly. But I can also see him possibly being done just because, you know your body. You get hit, right? You're a big guy. You're 6'7", 250. Guys aren't going at you from the shoulder to body. They're going for your legs and your knees. So I can understand it weighs on him. But it's been a great career for Gronk. And for me, I'm going to rank him. This is probably going to be a little bit biased. I'm going to make him number 1 over Tony Gonzalez just because I seen Gronk do things that I don't think any other tight end really could do. Like Gronk was really unstoppable. Like you had the triple team him. One person couldn't bring him down. You couldn't put a linebacker on him. You couldn't put a safety on him. Like you really had to scheme solely against. Not saying you couldn't do the same with Tony Gonzalez, but Gronk was just built different, and I think it was because of his height and just because he was so hard to take down. So that's where I have him. I have Gronk, then it'll be Tony G, and then Antonio Gates. Sound like a hater, man.
Man.
I think we're forgetting. Like I'm reading Chris's comments right now. I think we're forgetting, some of the other great tight ends in NFL history. Particularly one that runs his mouth a lot on FS1 alongside.
Well, he did say Shannon. He said Shannon is up there too. He said Shannon is up there too.
Okay.
So he did give him his credit. But Coach, I want to hear from you. What is Gronk's legacy as an NFL tight end? Do you put him in the top 3? Is he the greatest in your opinion? Is he done?
All right, let's start this off. Because I've been holding back. So first, that Super Bowl win, garbage. Worst Super Bowl I've watched, and
but we got the win.
Garbage. Let's put that out there now. 1 catch. But second, Gronk, top 3, easily top 3. I'm sorry. There's a lot of great tight ends in this league. We forgetting even the older school of the Mike Ditkas of the world. The ones that first started trains and things like that. Oh my God, the Brent Sellecks of the world. Those aren't great. Those are average. But let's continue. Gronk still did what most or majority of those tight ends could never achieve in a season or in a career. Hands down. I'm sorry. The fact that he had over 70 touchdowns at the position, just that alone, in the time he got to those 70, is ridiculous. That's what really makes it that. And then not only what he's done in the regular season as a great tight end, but it's the playoffs. The playoff atmosphere, Gronk was when Gronk was unstoppable. Yes, regular season, you had to scheme for him and things, but in the playoffs, you knew where they were going. It's Julian Edelman, Gronkowski, and the run. That was it. Before there was a George Kittle of the world, we was talking about Rob Gronkowski. Blocking, receiving, doing everything that's asked.
Playing defense.
At the highest of levels. You can't put a linebacker on him. You couldn't put a safety on him. As much as I hate to say this, he's top 2 and it's not 2. I'm sorry. He's top 2 and it's not 2. But he's not retired though. So I don't understand this conversation because, as we all said, in a few months he's going to get a call and be like, okay, Tom, I'll be there in a little bit. It's okay. I'll help. That's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. I can't get put into the, oh, he's going to be retired. He had such a great, no. The guy is definitely coming back. I'm sorry. Gronk is not away from here. He can leave all he wants, all the hits he took. I'm sorry. He ain't retiring until Tom retires. When they retire, they're going to retire together. That's how it went. Supposed to go this all season. We see what happened today. So,
listen, I don't know. I'm going to say this. I don't know if Gronk is retired or not. I really don't know. I'm really torn. I think he's 33, so he's up there in age. He's lost a step. I think that's given. He's lost some of the athleticism, but he's still strong. He's still got good hands. He can still box out. I think he could be a good weapon on third down in the red zone, obviously because of his size and his strength and just now his veteran prowess and just knowing the game. He's a decent route runner. So I think that Gronk could still play and just have a role, but not necessarily, obviously, he's not the Gronk of old. He's not going to get 10, 12 targets a game and give you 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. He might give you 5 to 6 catches, maybe 70, 80 yards a game and a touchdown or 2. And those are on good days, right? And so I don't know if he comes back just based on his age, the punishment he has taken, the fact that he's talked about it in the past, the punishment that he has taken, how he doesn't like it. Gronk is definitely top 30, bruh. I don't know. I don't know if he comes back, but if he does, I wouldn't be surprised in a limited role. If he can get a limited role at, a vet minimum or something like that, I could see him coming back and just making a push for a Super Bowl run again. And it'd be a situation where he has what Tony Gonzalez had at the end of his career, right? He didn't have to practice. He only had to show up for games, different things like I could see that potentially happening. As far as where he ranks, remember when Jimmy Graham was an elite tight end, bruh. As far as where he ranks, I'm going to say Gronk is number 2. Here's why. I think he's the most dominant tight end to ever play the game. Right? I think he's the most dominant. I liken it to Shaq. I think Shaq is the most dominant center to ever play the game of basketball, but I wouldn't say that Shaq is the best center to ever play the game of basketball. And Shaq hasn't even said that. He puts the likes of Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar above himself, right? But he never, ever says there's anybody more dominant than him. He knows I was the most dominant center to ever play the game of basketball. I think the same can be said about Gronk. He's the most dominant tight end to ever play the game of football professionally in the NFL. I think, though, the greatest tight end I've ever witnessed play the game of football and revolutionize the position without question was Tony Gonzalez. Like, he literally changed the game with his route running, his hands, the spectacular catches he used to make, his toughness. And here's the thing, guys, he's a vegan, right? Like, he did all this as a vegan. I know that sounds funny, but like, it's not like he was like the biggest, strongest, meatiest guy, or anything like that. He was just in shape. He was a physical specimen. He was somebody who you couldn't guard, so much so that your own coach said, we're going to double him in Darius. We're going to double him when we get in the red zone. He's not allowed off the line, right? Like, he was that terrifying to defenses. I think we see the likes of Travis Kelce, who is the closest thing, in my opinion, to what Tony Gonzalez was. I think George Kittle has the potential to be what Gronk was, but I just don't even know if his physicality is going to be able to match the dominance that Gronk had in his prime. Not to say that it won't, but he was an absolute force. But the only reason I would say that that Gronk comes back is to break Antonio Gates' record, right? Antonio Gates has 116 touchdowns. He broke Tony Gonzalez's touchdown record for tight ends at 111. But Gronk has 93. Let's say he comes back this year and let's say he gets 7 or 10, right? Again, limited role, and he plays in, goal line situations. I could absolutely see Gronk get 10 touchdowns. I can see him get 10 or 13. And if he gets 10 or 13 touchdowns one season, we're talking about, let's say he gets 10, he's at 103. He only needs 13 to tie Antonio and 14 to pass him. I could see it happening. I mean, I don't think it would happen. I don't think he's that type of player. I don't think he's selfish. I don't think he worries about stats and accolades or anything. Tony G and Shannon ushering the next gen for offenses to make tight ends number one. Absolutely. I agree with that take 110%, Chris. But like I said, I don't think he's that type of player that will see him do something like that. I think he values his body, his mind, and his sanity more than the game of football. But I wouldn't be surprised either if he does it. So very, 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 it'll be very, very interesting. Darius, I saw your hand in Juan.
I just want to say a very honorable mention who was very underrated, but when it mattered, he came clutch. Dallas Clark. Do not forget the boy with the 4.4 with the no gloves. He was a dog.
The no gloves.
He was a dog, and he was a matchup nightmare. Don't forget about that boy.
Yes, Dallas Clark he's one of my all-time favorites. He's one of my all-time.
I hated him.
Honestly, he's in my top 5. He will never be moved from the 5 spot. Like, he will never be. I don't care what anybody does. He's never going. As far as favorite, like that's my guy. That is my guy. Plus, he was on the TLT. Yes. Juan and then Darren. Last thoughts.
I will say, with regards to people saying, "Oh, Tom Brady will come back as soon as not Tom Brady," that Gronk will come back as soon as Tom Brady snaps his fingers. No, I don't think so. Not this time. Because despite everything, when the first retirement, Gronk was more upset with Belichick and his system and how he took care of himself in there than he was about football hurting him. Football wasn't fun for Gronk anymore when he was in New England. Then he went down to Tampa, where he always wanted to play, by the way, as he said in an Instagram post, once again, shunning Patriots fans a la Tom Brady. There is quote-unquote retirement. So Gronk always had the fever. He just needs to go to a different location. But now it's done. He has nothing to prove. He's done everything with Tom and then some. He has nothing to come back for. And that's perfectly fine.
Understood, Coach.
So we talk about how Antonio Gates came back, and he basically was in that limited role, only really third downs. They had a Hunter Henry there, so Antonio Gates did not have to be the sole guy. If Gronkowski is to come back, and it's not on Tampa Bay, where would he go?
That's a good question. If I was going to give 3 teams, I would say one of 3 teams. I could see Buffalo. I could see because they're gonna throw the ball.
Yeah,
they're gonna throw the ball.
They already got Dawson Knox and OJ Howard up there too.
Exactly, and that's my thing with them. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I could see it. I could see Arizona because they still don't have a tight end that's like, this the guy, right?
They have Zach Ertz, who they traded for last year.
Again, I'm telling again, and to your point, where it's just like Gronk doesn't have to do as much now. Zach Ertz is a little bit older himself, but he doesn't have to do as much because we know that Zach is probably going to be the guy there. And then the third team for me, I could honestly see. Yeah, I can see it. He doesn't throw the tight ends much, but I could see him going to Green Bay and being a big, huge target for Aaron Rodgers. Now, would he do that? I doubt it, but I'm just saying I could see it happening.
He ain't going back to the cold. I'll tell you that much.
Nah, I can see him going to Denver, people.
He have going to the cold.
One of the fastest tight ends probably in the league. In the backup to Noah Fant.
Oh, wait.
I not say his name.
Noah Fant is gone.
I could also see.
I know.
I could also see the Colts. I could also see the Colts. Gronkowski, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan loves throwing to tight ends. I can see it.
I can see Russell Wilson going and doing another 10 touchdown season like he did with Jimmy Graham in Seattle, but with the Broncos. Albert is the starter. They have him come in. He's a younger guy, can really develop well. They like him behind Noah Fant. And now you have a guy like Robert County thrown in there to be that veteran in the group and show him the ropes.
It's too much in that room. Too much in that room. I think you gotta go to a team where it's just like it's either one or none, right? And I just
it is. It's one. They only got one, and that's Albert. Everybody else is.
Don't do that. No offense is nice. All right, don't do that.
No offense, it's Seattle now.
Oh, you are correct. You are correct.
That's my point. No offense. You have Albert who can be a younger guy to step in number one. Have Gronk be the number two.
Absolutely. He must stop patting the ball in order to get the ball to
Gronk, please don't do this.
Please, I'm just saying. If he would just stop doing this,
I'm gonna go into that discussion
Wrap it up. All right, listen, we're going to get into the last topic here. I want to talk to you guys about some rookies who are standing out in OTAs. Ladies and gentlemen, OTAs is a great time of year for I think any and every football fan. Why? Because it's like I can smell the NFL grass coming back. I can smell it. I can smell the rubber of the turf. I can smell it. We're right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. It means summer is upon us. It means the football season, the NFL football season is right around the corner. The college football season is right around the corner. So, Juan, who are some rookies who are standing out to you in OTAs that you think are going to have a major impact in their first season?
I told y'all I was going to be a homer when we did this because I had 4 rookies to choose from here because they all look so nice and they all look so clean. But I'm going to go with the top rookie taken by the Jets, and that is Ahmad Sauce Gardner. All right. The man played number 1 corner while he was in Cincinnati, and that is translating into practice so far. A lot of beat writers, from what I've found, have said he is, quote unquote, as advertised.
Who's throwing the ball? Excuse me. Huh?
What?
I'm just saying, like, it's easy to pick off Zach, but
it's all right.
Everyone
did that. Pick off Marcus Mariota when he can't hold on to the ball that tight. Anyway, so
I mean, rather Mariota.
He's going up against good talent at wide receiver with Corey Davis and fellow rookie wide receiver Garrett Wilson. He's holding it down. He had a lot of great highlights. My favorite that I saw so far was a one-on-one battle against Corey Davis, who is a pretty good route runner, just blocking him and just absolutely demolishing him in the red zone. A lot of good reviews out of that part of it. I'm just excited, man. I am so excited to see Ahmad Gardner step onto that field in jet green, man. And OTAs have really proven it. I'm a little worried about Zach Wilson, not going to lie. But, it's OTAs. Do we really take anything that we see that seriously?
My bad. I like it. All right, Coach, talk to me, man. Give me some standouts from OTAs.
All right, I got 2 for you really fast. The first one is this one you're like, Avery. Devin Ritter. There's been a lot of good talk coming out of Atlanta for Devin Ritter. And it's not just the athleticism. We know he's an athletic specimen. We know he can get the ball out pretty quickly, but it's the mental side, especially for the quarterback position. He is really adapting to that playbook down there in Atlanta. And he's gotten praise from the head coach stating that he is light years ahead of what most young quarterbacks are at this time frame. He understands the playbook. He's starting to get some of these calls that install and the checks down. That's going to be good going forward and making a great competition between him and Mariota going into training camp. But my number 1 guy I'm really excited about, Isaiah Likely. I don't know if anybody else knows the guy, but tight end from Coastal Carolina. Listen, man, he's a big wide receiver. That's all he is. And he's been showing out all OTAs for us. Guys like Kyle Hamilton, the first round pick. Marcus Williams, an excellent standout free agent safety we got. Chuck Clark, who is also a standout safety we've had for the last 2 years. Marlon Humphreys. These guys are the ones he's going up against in practice every day and showing out. So I can only imagine what he's going to do when the league comes. I know people say we need a big wide receiver or another veteran guy, but I think we did. I think we pulled another heists like we did in 20, I believe, 18. No, I'm sorry. It was 2019. We pulled off the heist of Mark Andrews and Hayden Hurst. I think it's happening again, but this time with Kohler and Likely. And Likely's going to be the new Andrews.
I'm muted. Y'all ain't tell me I was muted. Come on, man. I guess we're gonna see. I hope Desmond pans out. We'll see. Okay, you know what I'm saying. We'll see. But we could. I wouldn't be mad if we tanked for this guy that's coming out of Alabama. I'm not going to say any names, but anyway. Isaiah Likely, my dude. All right. That's right. Go check that interview out. You know what I'm saying? www.insidethehashes.com. Go check out that interview right now, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not right now because we're on the podcast, but right after this podcast, go check out that interview. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, listen. Darius, I want to hear from you. Are you going to be a homer or like?
Of course, I'm gonna keep it in actually both of my players in the AFC East. I'm gonna start off with the Buffalo Bills. I think James Cook, man, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I think he was a sleeper draft pick. The Buffalo Bills don't like to run the ball, but what I'm reading, he's good he's a good pass catcher, and I think Josh Allen can use that security like safety blanket, the screen passes and different things like that, because they like to throw the ball deep in intermediate and the short passes, but it's nice to have that running back who can, you dump it off on the screen, he can take it 40, 50 yards. And I think James Cook is that guy. And Buffalo hasn't really had a number one running back. And I think that's really what they need is a running back. I think that's what's going to take them to the next level. You can take some of that pressure off Josh Allen where he doesn't have to throw the ball 40, 50 times. You can run the ball, control the time of possession, keep the opposing team's quarterback off the field. Then another guy, because, again, I'm a homer, he's a cornerback. You guys probably don't know him, but I think he's going to be a dog just like nobody knew J.C. Jackson. I think Jack Jones, I think he's going to be a dog, man. I think he's another J.C. Jackson type of player. He's going to show in the preseason, and he's gonna go out and be a ball hawk. He's gonna do his thing as a rookie. I don't think he's necessarily going to start, but I do think he's going to see a lot of playing because Belichick likes to mix it up with his corners. So I think he's going to see a lot of playing time. So he's having a really good camp. Now, it's not going up against the top wide receivers. Wow. I was going to say Cole Strange. Nah, man. I was upset about the draft pick, but
he is though. Dude is a standout. Strange is a standout. Like I heard this one story about him. I heard this one story about him in OTAs where like there was what was it that Matthew Judon had a sack fumble on I forget Mac Jones, and then freaking Strange grabbed it, and then ran all the way down to score the ball at the end to show like hustle and stuff, and that got like a lot of respect from all the orders.
He's doing his thing, and you know who else is doing anything? Mac Jones. That's all I'm gonna say. Watch out for that boy,
bruh. We talking about rookie OTAs.
Watch out for Mac 10.
Anyway,
4,000 passing yards.
I got one quick question for Darius. What's up with Belichick in these corners with the JJ names?
No, what's up with
no, it's Jack Jones,
play caller.
Jonathan Jones. Like it's so many.
What's up with this? It's okay. You know what?
Listen, listen. They dogs, man. They all dogs.
Okay, if I had to make a choice, and I'm not going to be a homer, I'm actually going to be an analyst. I'm going to say my pick is probably going to be Christian Watson. And here's why. I think he has arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks ever throwing him the football. Right? I think he's going to have an immediate impact. Obviously, they do not have Devontae Adams anymore. Aaron Rodgers is going to need to find how to reproduce that production, right, and supplement that production that Devontae Adams had. I think Christian Watson has an opportunity to come in and really show, okay, yeah, I deserve to be drafted higher even than I was. And I think he's got a prime opportunity right now to really snap, right? You've got, in my opinion, the most accurate quarterback to ever play the game of football. He's one of the most He's obviously the most talented quarterback to ever play the game of football. So I think Christian Watson's in a very, very strong. He wanted to say Julio Jones, but he's a. That's good. That's a funny one. But yeah, I think he's in a prime position to really show out this season. So I think it's really on him. Like, I think if he fails, it's on him, right? Like, I don't think it's going to be based on any other thing other than his work ethic, his knowledge of the playbook, and his ability to get open and catch the football. Like, it's literally your like, if you fail, it's because you fail. Because Aaron Rodgers is going to get you the ball. He's going to put it where it needs to be. Coach, I saw your hand.
Real quick, Christian Watson might be getting all the excitement for being the possible replacement for Devontae Adams, but Romeo Doubs from the Packers, their 4th round pick, the second wide receiver they took, he's getting a good bit of hype as well, and he could possibly be the number 2, number 3 guy, even possibly over Alvin Lazard, who should be the number 2 guy there. But just saying, Christian Watson's going to be great, but don't forget the other guy they drafted in the 4th round.
I'm not forgetting him at all. I'm saying they drafted him first, so they expect him to be first. They expect him to be one. They expect him to show out. They expect him, and this is the prime opportunity, and I think he will, is what I'm saying. I think he will absolutely shine. And so I think Christian Watson is just going to make a ton of splash waves, in the NFL. Obviously, like I said,
in Packers country, there's a lot of excitement for this kid.
So we shall see. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens next. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here at the Air It Out podcast. Again, joined by on a panel of amazing people. Actually, before we end it out, I don't know if we got to touch on Juan's jersey. So, Juan, if you wanted to tell Jerome what jersey you're wearing and what jersey you traded in to get that jersey. You're muted, Juan. You are muted. I will unmute you. Go ahead. There you go.
I'm repping the greatest kicker in NFL history, arguably, outside of maybe Adam Vinatieri, or that's about it. Mr. Justin Tucker, Mr. What Up Dog himself. And
the smile on Darren's face.
That's what's so hilarious. He's just like this, like a little kid.
And
I'm just waiting for Jerome to get upset.
I traded him in for I got him in exchange for Ray Lewis, simply because I literally shrunk out of the jersey. So I decided to trade in a Hall of Fame linebacker for literally the greatest kicker in NFL history. So
say it again, at home. Say it again.
That's
greatest kicker in NFL history.
Lit, man. Bump all that. Bump Ray Lewis. Bump Justin Tucker. Bump the Ravens. Juan said he can't fit the jersey no more. Shout out to Juan for staying on the grind, getting the health. Health is wealth. I love it. Listen, I'm absolutely ecstatic about that. Juan scared me for a second taking that.
I'm wearing a shirt.
That is funny. That is funny. At least it's not, him unzipping the hoodie or anything like that. Not yet. But we'll get back to it. But listen, that is the Air It Out podcast. Again, my name is Avery. That's Juan. That is Darren and Darius. But please do me a favor. Check us out on all your social media platforms and follow us. Please, okay? Go on Instagram and follow Inside the Hashes. Facebook, follow Inside the Hashes. Twitter, Inside Hashes. And please go ahead and go to YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. Like the channel. Like the videos. Share the videos. And then turn on the notification button so you know when we are live. And you can get your comments put in here live, as you saw our CEO and Chris and others do so. Listen, and please, like I said, go check out the interviews and the blogs and the podcasts and everything that we have at the website, www.insidethehashes.com. Please go check that stuff out. Hit that QR code too. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me put the QR code on one top. Let me throw the Let me throw the QR code on right there. You see it right there up in the corner. You see that right there. Go ahead and scan that QR code. You'll get right and taken to exactly where you need to go for Inside the Hashes, okay? Listen, that's Darren. Wait, where is it? Okay, that's Darren. And then that's Darius. And then that's Juan right there. My name is Avery. It's the Inside Hashes podcast. Listen, we were talking about tight ends, and I think Gronk would absolutely fit on the Colts, but only if Matt Ryan decides to stop that.
Yes,
There we go.
You got it.
There we go.
You gotta let it up.
We gotta wrap it up.
Come on.